Your expectations largely determine the quality of your life in this sense, is that whatever you expect with confidence becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. Whatever you expect with confidence becomes your own self-fulfilling prophecy. In other words, you are always telling your future by the way you talk about how you think things are going to turn out. You are like a fortune teller in your own life. And if you believe that things are going to turn out well, if you expect them to turn out well, then by gum, they do. So it's very, very important that you always expect the best. And this is the key. Expect the best. Expect the best. Expect the best of yourself. Expect the best of other people. Interesting difference between winners and losers. Can you guess?
At the University of Pennsylvania is that the number one quality of success, they did the psychographic and demographic tests on these people. They found the number one quality that the top 10% of people had was optimism. They have a positive, constructive attitude toward life. Does it mean they don't get beaten down and make mistakes and fall down and get disappointed and so on? Of course they do, but they bounce back. The major test of how healthy you are as a person is not whether you get knocked down, but how quickly you bounce back, how quickly you recover. If you do a stress test in medicine, what they do is they do a stress test to test your system. The critical question is how quickly do you respond? How quickly do you come back to where you were before? And I want to give you the 4 critical exercises for optimists. These are the 4 ways that optimists think that separate them from people who are average, who are pessimistic. Remember, the great majority of people are not particularly positive or optimistic, but all leaders are. So number 1 is top people think and talk about what they want most of the time. Whenever you find yourself getting upset, say, wait a minute, I'm going to think and talk about what I want. Your conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time, either a positive thought or a negative thought. If you discipline yourself to think about what you want and how to get it, you push out all negative thoughts for that moment. If you keep doing something repeatedly over and over again, what do you eventually develop? You develop a habit. You know, Donna talked about success habits. It's so important. If you force yourself to think about what you want and how to get it, eventually you get up in the morning, the first thing you think about is what you want and how to get it. Okay? The second way that you become an optimist is you look for the good in every situation and in every person. You always look for the good. Something goes wrong, look for the good. Your house burns down. Well, that's good. We needed a house closer to work anyway. Your car gets stolen. Well, that's good. The ashtrays were full. You know? You lost your job. Well, that's good. We didn't like the job anyway. So, in other words, look for something good in every situation. Now, here's the most remarkable thing. You find what you're looking for. If you're looking for the problem or the flaw, then you'll find it. If you're looking for something good, you'll find it. Question. Does anybody here have a light with a dimmer switch on it at home? Now, a dimmer switch has a very interesting parallel. With a dimmer switch, it's controlled manually. You either turn it or move it up or down, and when it's on full, it's bright, and when it's down, it's dark. There's a dimmer switch on your brain as well. Only the dimmer switch on your brain is controlled by your thoughts. And when your thoughts are really positive, your dimmer switch is on full. You're positive, you're creative, you're high energy, you feel good about yourself. In other words, you're positive, you're the best person you could possibly be when your dimmer switch is on full. When your dimmer switch is down low, your personality is darkened, you're angry, you're worried, you're fearful, you're negative, you're pessimistic, you're skeptical, you run for public office and talk about how terrible America is. Okay. But the fact is that your dimmer switch is controlled by the thoughts that you think at any given moment. And if you think about what you want and how to get it, your dimmer switch goes on full. And you have all of your energy available to you. When you think and look for the good in a situation, a difficult situation, you say, that's good. What happens is your dimmer switch goes on full. Now, the third thing you do is you look for the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. Napoleon Hill, in his 22-year study of 500 of the most successful people America ever produced, found that one of the qualities they had in common was they always looked for the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. Quick question. Does anybody here have any problems? No. Good. Problems are a sign of life and activity. There's only one group of people in our society that has no problems, and they're all in the cemetery. They have no relationship problems, no money problems, no health problems. So if you are having problems, it's a sign of life. All right, so you have problems. Problems I have found in life are like stacks of dinner plates. And they're stacked up, and some are low down in your hierarchy of concern, and some are higher. But there's always one problem on top. So I want you to take as an exercise, this is very important, by the way, and this is a go-forward exercise for you and your family and other people for the rest of your life. I want you to take the biggest problem you have in life and imagine that this problem has been sent to you containing a lesson. My friend Norman Vincent Peale used to say, when God wants to send you a gift, he wraps it up in a problem. When he wants to send you a big gift, he wraps it up in a big problem. Most people get so preoccupied with the wrapping, they don't look for the gift. The gift is the lesson. And my promise to you is that every problem you'll ever have contains a lesson that is in most cases more valuable than the problem itself. In fact, the lesson may be what you need to learn to become rich and happy. It's almost as if there is a great power in the universe that wants you to be a big success, wants you to be happy and prosperous, but this power knows you can only achieve it if you learn the lessons necessary on the way. So at the exact right time, this power will send you the lesson wrapped up in a problem. Your job of the superior person, is to look into it and say, what am I meant to learn from this problem? What am I meant to learn, and what else am I meant to learn? And what else am I meant to learn? Keep drilling down, because sometimes one big problem contains a whole series of lessons that will profoundly change your life if you can recognize the problems. And as Donna said, by the way, if you don't recognize the solution within the problem, it'll come around again, only this time it'll be more expensive. And if you don't get the lesson then, it'll come around again. This great power will keep sending you the lesson until you get it. And then once you pass that, you go to the next lesson and you have the next problem. So your job is to say, what am I meant to learn from this situation? And my promise to you is you'll always find a lesson, and while you're looking for the lesson, your dimmer switch will be on full. You'll be positive, you'll be optimistic, you'll be forward-thinking, you'll be more creative, you'll be more relaxed, you'll be more open, you'll be the best person you can possibly be. Now, if you want to be a great help to other people, when they are talking about their lives, say, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Help your children. Help your staff. When they have a problem, say, what's good in this? Because there's always something good comes from every difficulty. What's the lesson that you're meant to learn from this? You help them to think creatively and positively and optimistically as well until it becomes a habit for them as well. Remember the old saying, you become what you teach. You learn what you teach. So therefore, when you teach these principles to others who can benefit from them, you actually internalize them more and more yourself until they become an automatic part of the way that you deal with life. The fourth key to optimism is to feed your mind continually. Come to courses like this, listen to audio programs, read the books, talk to positive people. Keep feeding your mind. Just like if you wanted to have a healthy body, you'd eat really nutritious foods. If you want to have a healthy mind, take in positive, nutritious, what Jim calls mental protein rather than mental candy. All right? Now, optimists, by the way, start off with an unrealistic expectation of success. What does this mean? That means they really expect to be successful in advance. They expect that everything that happens is positive in some way. They expect that every setback contains a lesson. They expect to be wealthy. An attitude of positive self-expectancy.
Winners expect to win in advance. There never was a winner who didn't expect to win in advance. Winners understand that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and they know that you usually get what you expect in the long run. So winners accept the belief that hope and a deep, unbreakable faith forged into a fundamental attitude of positive self-expectancy is the eternal spring from which all creative, motivating energy flows. What the mind dwells upon, the body acts upon. As a behavioral scientist studying the lives of thousands of winners and losers, it's clear to me that Psycho the Mind is your own best fortune teller to forecast the actions of Soma, the body. And understanding this mind and body psychosomatic relationship is the key to understanding the importance of the first most outwardly identifiable quality of a winner, that of positive self-expectancy. Winners expect another good day, a promotion or a raise, to find a parking place, a productive meeting, and a harmonious family life, and they usually get them. Winners know that their actions will be controlled by their current obsessions. Losers generally expect more of the same frustration, more problems, the loss of a job, a dull evening, bad service in a restaurant, and failure. Mental obsessions do have physical manifestations. You get what you suspect. You are that what you expect to be. This power of the self-fulfilling prophecy is one of the most amazing phenomena of human nature. The winners in life, believing in the self-fulfilling prophecy, keep their momentum moving upward by expecting better jobs, more money, good health, better family relationships, financial security, warm friendships, and success. All really successful individuals fervently desire and expect to win, no matter what curves life throws at them. Think about Helen Keller, who graduated magna cum laude and devoted her life to the service of others, although she had been deaf and blind since infancy. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he had polio. In spite of their bloodlines and handicaps, they expected to do their best. That's why it's so critically important to remember that the key to winning positive self-expectancy is for you and me to understand that in the long run, every individual receives just about what he or she expects. And if you have the faith that if you do things in the right way, you'll be rewarded accordingly, you'll be a winner. Optimism is a way of life.
So there's three qualities that optimists have. Number one is they learn more things. Number two is they try more things. Your job in life is to increase the probabilities of success. Now, how do you increase the probabilities of success? Number one is you learn more things, so you have more understanding. And number two, you try more things. And if I was to tell you the keys to success, you'll find that all successful people try more things. And is there any guarantee that you will be successful? No. You will fail more times than you succeed, but if you try more things, it's like throwing darts at the dartboard. If you keep throwing darts over and over again, even if you're a complete idiot, what must you eventually hit? You must eventually hit a bullseye. And that's why you meet complete idiots who are rich, is they just kept throwing darts and they hit a bullseye. You know that story about the guys get together at the high school reunion after 20 years and the dumbest guy in the class is richer than all of them put together? And they said, how on earth could you do this? I mean, you weren't very much of a student. He said, I found this manufacturer that sold stuff for $1, and I could import it and sell it for $3 and make a profit. He said, it's amazing what you can do on 3% profit. The third quality is that they persist longer. You'll find that every single person who is successful learned more things, tried more things, persisted until they succeeded. And every person who's a failure didn't. It's really, really simple. And what keeps you doing this is optimism. It's an attitude that no matter what happens, I will eventually succeed. It's only a matter of time. It doesn't matter what's going on now. If I just keep trying more things and persisting longer, I will succeed. And by gum, that becomes your fact. That becomes the fact of life. So I want to give you a quick exercise. I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down the answer to this question. What are your three most important goals in life right now? What are your three most important goals in life right now? Okay. This is called the quick list method, by the way. You can use this for the rest of your life. And what we have found is that if you only have 30 seconds to write the answer to this question, your answers will be as accurate as if you had 30 minutes or 3 hours. You can ask your spouse, honey, what are your three most important goals in life right now? But ask your kids, son, daughter, what are your three most important goals in life right now? So in other words, these are your goals. Now, here is your homework assignment. Your homework assignment is for the next 24 hours, think and talk about those three goals. Think and talk about those three goals, and the only question you ask is, how? How do I achieve them? Not whether they're achievable. We'll talk about how we firm them up a little bit in a couple of minutes, but how do we achieve them? And from now on, think and talk about what you want and how to get it. Whenever you want to help someone else, help them think and talk about what they want and how to get it. Help them look for the good in every situation. Help them seek the valuable lesson in every problem that they have. Keep feeding your mind with positive stuff so you keep getting better and better. Quick story. This gentleman came up to me at my seminar. I said, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about today is not rocket science. He came up and he said, I heard that comment about rocket science. He said, I'm in sales. I'm 28 years old. He said, and I'd heard many people say over the years, this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. I began wondering, what would it take to get a degree in rocket science? So I went back to the college and I said, I'm really interested in rocket science. What would it take? They said, well, you'd have to take these prerequisite courses. You'd have to take this. You'd have to do that. You'd have to take summer courses and so on. But this is the prescribed courses that you'd have to take to get a degree, just like we talked about a little bit earlier in engineering. So he decided that's going to be his project. So he went back to work. He's in sales, just like you and I. He's an entrepreneur. He went back to work in evenings and weekends. Instead of playing golf or watching television, he just studied rocket science. He said, May, I graduated at the university with a degree in rocket science. He said, now when somebody says, this is not rocket science, he said, I know, I got a degree in rocket science. he said, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Now here's my point. Anybody in this room, if you wanted to get a degree in rocket science, if you cared about it enough, you could do it. You are smart enough to accomplish virtually anything that you could even imagine you could do in life. Nobody's smarter than you. Nobody's better than you. If they're ahead of you on the road of life, it means two things. Is they got on the road first, and they have proven that you can do the same thing they've done. If somebody is doing well, it's proof that you can do it as well. Now, people say, well, I want to be a billionaire in a year. That is a dumb thing. Why don't you be a 100-aire in a year? Why don't you be a 1,000-aire in a year? Now, one of the greatest diseases that has afflicted America, like an epidemic that has swept the country psychologically, is quick fix. I want quick fix. I want to take my entire wasted life and turn it around by Monday. I want to be financially independent in a year, and I want to be free from decades of silly things that I've done with my life, and I want to get it all back. And that's not how it works. What you do is you begin turning this great ocean liner slowly. It takes 7 years. Now, I've studied mastery, and I've studied it for years. I've studied all these subjects because they're so important to me. All the studies say 10,000 hours in your craft, 7 years. Now, people say, oh, my God, 7 years. I'm 30. I'll be 37 years old. Jeez. Well, how much older will you be in 7 years in any case? The fact is, and please write this on your hand, the fact is, the time is going to pass anyway. The time is going to pass anyway. The only question is, where are you going to be in 7 years? Are you going to still be lost on the back roads? Are you worried about money? Or are you going to be on the high road and moving ahead faster and faster? Peter Drucker, who's probably the best management theorist in the history of the world, Peter Drucker says no business makes money within 4 years. In the first 4 years. It takes 2 years to break even. The first 2 years, what you do is you mortgage, you hypothecate, you borrow, beg, steal, and lie every penny you possibly can to survive. The second 2 years, you make more than it costs, and you begin to pay off your debts. At the end of 4 years, you start to make a profit. It takes 7 years to make a business success. Now, if that is the rule, people say, I'm going to beat the numbers. No, you're not. You're not going to beat the odds. People say, I'm going to live to be 150. No, you're not. You're not going to beat the odds. You're not going to beat the probabilities. What you do is you say, okay, these are the facts of life, so get on with it. If you want to be at the top of your field, there's nothing can stop you from being one of the highest paid, most successful people in your field if you just get on with it. And don't expect to do it overnight. Is just begin to take the courses, upgrade your skills, add value. The critical quality is optimism. You've got to be an optimist. Thank you very much. God bless you.